Welcome to the Studio Chat podcast, the podcast designed to be your companion in the journey of self-discovery. I'm Barbara Thompson, your host and a dedicated therapist. I'm the founder and owner of Self-Care Studio, a private counselling practice. With my clients and courses that I create on this podcast, I'm committed to ensuring that you have the support that you need. I created this podcast as a space for you to feel a sense of connection and a reminder that you're not alone in this thing that we call life, this adventure. This podcast is your weekly reminder to trust yourself, live life authentically, and embrace the path that is uniquely yours. Together, we'll explore ways to break free from people-pleasing, overthinking, allowing you to claim your time. You'll be joined by myself as I take you through some episodes, or during the year, I'll have some special self-care experts as guests on my podcast. So if you're ready to step into a life that's truly for you, join me on this journey. Let's navigate the twists and turns of life together, and more importantly, live your life for you. So thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me today. Let the studio chat begin. Are you struggling with hormonal imbalances, or are you looking to enhance your menstrual health naturally? I may have something for you. Introducing seed cycling, a scientifically backed naturopathic protocol designed to balance your hormones and support your overall menstrual wellness. Do you suffer from heavy periods that are longer than 7 days, painful periods, or you may have an irregular cycle over 37 days? Does your mood suffer every month? Do you have PMS? Do you feel bloated all the time? Is your sleep terrible? Do you have adult acne? Trouble getting pregnant? Do you experience anxiety or depression, fatigue or exhaustion, or is your hair thinning or is your hair falling out? These are all signals from the body that your hormones need to be addressed. Seed Cycle Blend is designed to optimize your hormone levels naturally, promoting healthier cycles and happier ovaries. It's clinically proven to help manage the conditions like PCOS and supports a healthy gut microbiome without any of those side effects. Seed cycling involves rotating specific organic seeds throughout different phases of your menstrual cycle. What you do is you add 2 tablespoons daily of either of the blends, depending on where you are in your cycle or the moon phase. Mix in with some mixed yogurt on top of your eggs, blended with some smashed avo or in your smoothie. And once you do that consistently, you'll be ready to take charge of your hormonal health, and I know that it's going to make a difference. So head over on Instagram, Seed Cycle Blend, and I've actually got a discount code for you guys. If you type in self-care seeds into the checkout, you will get a discount. And there's actually a really cool function that you can have a subscription service. You can cancel at any time, but it can make sure that these 2 different blends, the follicular phase blend and the luteal phase blend, are delivered to your door every month. And there's actually a 90-day money-back guarantee as well. So give them a go. Seed Cycle Blend. Hi everyone, it's so nice to have you back. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Barbara Thompson. I'm the host of the Studio Chat podcast. And the reason why I started this podcast was conversations about self-care, bringing people from all around the world, having discussions on how we can improve ourselves, how we can connect with ourselves, and how we can take care of ourselves. And today, I have a really special guest, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you guys. Her name's Jennifer Nataf. I want to ask you a few questions. Do you have trouble finding clothes that you like or that suit you? Do you kind of on a daily basis look through your closet and you can see heaps of clothes, but you have nothing to wear? Has your life changed recently? You may have become a mum, you may have got a new job, you may have moved countries, you may be in a new relationship, you may be out of a relationship, and you found that your current wardrobe no longer reflects the person you've become. If you've answered yes to any of these questions, I know I have, Jennifer can help us find our own unique personal style with clothes and accessories. And I think the end result of that would be, imagine feeling confident in your appearance and projecting like the person. Imagine the inside of you coming outside, if that makes sense. So today, I'm so excited that we are in right now speaking to Jennifer in Jerusalem in Israel, which I'm so excited because I haven't even been over that side of the world yet. So A big warm welcome to you. Your business is called Pretty Things Styling. Welcome, Jennifer, to the Studio Chat podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy too. And you're a personal stylist.
Right.
Okay, so the first thing I'd love you to share with my listeners is like a little bit about you. I know sometimes it's a bit of a hard, big question to start with on a podcast, but like a little bit about you, Jennifer, and how you got into being a personal stylist.
Sure. So I have always loved clothes from the time that I was little, and I've always loved playing around with clothes. And over the course of my lifetime, I'm 47. So over the course of my lifetime, you go through different stages of life. I was a teenager, and as a teenager, I wanted to dress like everybody else, maybe even be cool. In my 20s, again, starting to find yourself. And as you go through all these different stages of life, your style changes. And that's what happened for me as well. So I've needed to find and refine my style throughout all these stages. But there have been a couple of things that really impacted me style wise. So when I was a teenager, I started to get a little bit rounder. You become a woman, and that was something that I gained a little bit of weight, and then I intentionally lost the weight, and then that began a cycle of weight gain and weight loss and pretty drastic weight fluctuations over the course of my life, unfortunately. So it started as a teenager, and it's something that I've just been, dealing with, and it's something that greatly impacted my style because when I was at a heavier weight, I could not find clothes. I did not feel good in my body. I did not feel like I could find anything that looked good on me. And I would kind of hibernate at home. I would not go out. If I was invited to a party, I would try on everything in my closet and realize that nothing looked good and just decide not to go. So that impacted me. And there's something else that really impacted my style, which was that when I was 15, I moved from Montreal, where I was born and raised, and I came to Israel, and we're talking 1992. So the styles were really different. This was before the internet. And so there was style in North America and there was style in Israel. And style in Israel was always about half a year to a year behind the styles in North America. And so I ended up being made fun of by my friends for the clothes that I was wearing because I was wearing clothes that were perfectly normal for a North American teenager, but not exactly in style in Israel. So my friends would see these little things that I had. I wore a bucket hat once, and I was made fun of for that. I had this giant sunflower. This was the 90s, giant sunflower for my hair, was made fun of for that. And so I was just made fun of for these things that were so normal in North America and just out of the ordinary in Israel. So that was something else that impacted my style because as a teenager, I learned I did not like being made fun of. And I learned how to fit in. And so that really impacted me. There are people that go the other way. They want to stand out and they rebel and they are like edgy and everything. I just wanted to fit in. And so that feeling accompanied me for quite a while until my 30s. And in my 30s, I said, you know what? That's it. I want to dress how I want to dress. I want to dress to make myself happy. And
Mm.
if I'm going to dress a little bit differently from everybody else, so be it. And if I'm going to look a little bit, Israel is a very, very casual society. And so if I want to look a little bit more elevated, a little bit more elegant, and a little bit more put together than everybody else, I'm going to do it. And so that was a decision I made in my 30s. I'm now 47 and I'm happy with it. And it's something also that I can help give to my clients because a lot of my clients also, they say they have this thing inside their heads and they're thinking to themselves, what are other people going to think if I wear this? So this is something that I can sort of help them with.
Yeah. Was the climate different too? Obviously, moving to Israel at that age as well. Did we talk about climate and where we live, if,
Hmm.
making the choice for us sometimes with what we're wearing.
True. Yeah, the climate is, I mean, summer's much hotter and winter is not quite as cold. Um, yeah, that's for sure also something that impacted.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But clothing is such a big part. I know anyone listening to this because I can resonate with that. And thank you so much for sharing because uh, I was right there with you. You sharing your experiences as a teenager, and I know too. When I was a teenager, it was all about the labels and all about. That's when
Right.
I'm an '80s baby too, so this is when Reebok and Nike and Adidas, and there were some New Zealand and Australia, some surf brands, and if you had the brand on your t-shirt or your shoes or your socks, you were like, you did want to fit in, and I really understand that. And then as an adult now, we have styles and trends and fast fashion and all that kind of stuff. So I think we'll touch on that a little bit later. But what I'd really love to ask you is I think a lot of us would have an idea of what a personal stylist is, an
Mm.
idea. But what
Mhm.
but what do you, because you're qualified. That's another thing too. I want to mention to people listening to this. You haven't just picked this up as a hobby. You are actually qualified as a personal stylist. So what does that mean?
So I got my styling certification from the International Image Institute, and I did it online. But there are actually, so there are places where you can study to be a personal stylist, and you can do it under somebody who's been a stylist for many, many, many years and who now qualifies stylist people to become stylists. Or you can do it in a university or college or whatever. And I chose to do it at the International Image Institute. And so I went through that process and learned a lot of things. One of the things that I learned about, I feel like also, I'm just going to say that I think that if you want to become a personal stylist, you need to have it inside of you. You need to have this sort of sense of aesthetics. Your personal stylist means you're working with people to help them develop their style. There are fashion stylists and there are stylists who work on sets and for magazines and everything, but a personal stylist works with people. It is personal. And you need to have this sense of aesthetics. You need to love people. You need to be able to communicate well with people and be sensitive to them in order to help them find their style. So before I studied personal styling, I knew I could help people look good, but I also knew that I could help them look good in like a Jennifer Nataf style. And I realized that I'm going to have to make them look good in a way that it really resonates with them. So that is what I feel that my studies really, really equip me to do. And so I can talk with a person, get to know them, listen to them, and get down to the nitty gritty of who they are, what's important to them. There are some people who just want to look good. There are some people who need to be comfortable above all,
Mm.
and um, and there's some people who just like need variety and color. And so everybody's different. And so it's a matter of listening to my client and digging deep to what maybe they haven't fully told me, and listening to stories and asking them what it is that they want to convey to the world through their style.
Yeah, because a lot of that, I imagine your work would be very similar to mine. We're totally different, but in a way, I help people, you help people. Clothing is one of those things. It's almost like what I do, what you do, and what a personal trainer does. We get a really beautiful look into someone's life. They're very vulnerable with us. A lot of the time, people's clothing has a story. Um,
Mm.
a childhood memory, or it could be I really like this jacket, or I want to fit this jacket, or it could have a lot of loss and grief as our bodies change. People can say I've got a whole wardrobe and I can't fit anything, but it hangs there because one day, and that has a lot of clutter and a lot of heartache because every time you walk into your wardrobe, your self-esteem is very low. So I think when we start talking about clothing, and our own personal style, and what's in our closet or wardrobe, it brings up a lot of stuff.
It really does. It really does. And what you said about people being vulnerable with us, people tell me things, like my clients tell me things that they don't share with other people. And yeah, they get vulnerable with us.
They do. So what does it, okay, so personal stylist. If someone was to hire you or work with you, we know the reasons why personal stylist. We may feel stuck. We may not know who we are anymore. I know with me, with COVID and stuff, I've always been a really casual, laid back dresser.
Mm.
But I know over the years, my style has slipped considerably. Can't even say that word. People know what I'm trying to say. I think with COVID, owning my own business, living in an area that's very relaxed, and I'm a very
Right.
person anyway. Like even in my corporate work, which wasn't really corporate, but you might see me in a blazer, but you would never see me in a shirt and a blazer because people can't see what I'm about to do. But I'd be like, I'd be like moving my arms, moving my shoulders because I wouldn't feel comfortable. And then obviously when you have a bit of a bust and you have the buttons, no matter what size shirt you'd sit down, there'd always be like a peepee hole. So I think people can resonate with personal style. Yeah, I want to feel like myself. People have different ages too. So when you hit 21, 30, 40, 50, you tend to be like, have those reflection moments. Oh, who am I? And what am I
Right.
wearing? And I think COVID for a lot of us, what I was saying is it put us into the sweatpants and the PJs world and let's be comfortable. And then I think there's nothing wrong with comfort, but I think it's kind of just carried on and carried on. So
Mhm.
if we're going to work with you, what would it look like and feel like to work with a personal stylist?
Okay. So first of all, I will send the people that I'm about to hop on a discovery call with, I'll have them fill in an in-depth form first to ask them questions like what is their ideal style? Do they have any style icons? What is it that they want people to think when they look at them? What are their style challenges? What is their biggest style fear? What do they wish they had the courage to wear but don't? And then all sorts of preferences, like as far as color and fit, and do you like flowy or do you like more classic patterns? It's funny because like I'll get people who hate animal print and yeah, and what is your greatest what do you hope to get out of this? What would make this service a success for you? And so once I do that, I have a whole lot of information about who this person is because we are all so different. So already going into the call, I have an idea of who you are. And then I ask some more questions and I dig a little bit deeper. And we see what it is that you really want to express through your style. And so I have them give me between 3 to 5 keywords and um, yeah. And so once we start working together, I have them put together a Pinterest board. And the reason that I do this is because I want them to start to take ownership of their style and this process, this style journey that they're on. This is you. I'm just accompanying you to help you get to the style that resonates with you, that you feel good in, but you're also taking ownership of this.
Mm.
And so the Pinterest board is also a way for us to discover these unknowns. Like I might say, you're blonde and blue eyed. You would look great in blues and yellows. And I can see you in this and that. But if you're the one putting together the Pinterest board, you're the one showing me what it is that you're drawn to. And so I tell people this is inspirational. Don't think about what is rational for your daily life, what is practical, what would work for your body. None of that. Just show me what it is that you love, that makes your heart sing, that speaks to you. And And that will be the Pinterest board that will then accompany us, because the next step is going through the closet and seeing, what do you have? Do you have a million pairs of jeans or a million button-down shirts or a million blazers or little black dresses? Because we do tend to, we're drawn to that same item. So you go shopping and you're going to be drawn to what you already have because you're drawn to it. And so you sort of need to snap out of that. So you go through, when I go through a client's closet, I see, are the clothes pilled, torn? Do they have holes in them? Are they faded? Do they need to be gotten rid of? Are there gaps in their closet because you pinned all of these oversized blazers in your Pinterest board, but I don't see any in your closet? What are the gaps? Are these all clothes that served you at a certain point? And really, like you were talking about, they served you once. You could fit into them in the past, but now they're just reminders of a different time. Either you feel guilty because you spent money on them and don't wear them, or you feel bad because you've gained a little bit of weight and you can't fit into them. And so we go through your closet and we will clean that out. And I don't force myself, like I wish I could, but I don't force my clients to get rid of anything. I just tell them, if this were me, please get rid of this. I will never force anybody to do anything, but I will strongly encourage them. And once we go through the closet, then we go shopping and we buy the items that will fill those gaps and the items that will support them in this next stage of their life, that will communicate to the world around them, this is who I am. And one of my favorite things about shopping with people is that I get them to try. I'll point out an item and say, what about this? And they'll be like, oh, I never thought of that before. And they try it, they love it, and they get it. And that's how they sort of start to change their style, and they sort of start to elevate their style. And occasionally, if a client says to me, I'm really not drawn to that, I've never really liked that type of pattern or that fabric, I'll be like, okay, forget it. We are not here to change you. We're just here to bring you like a few steps higher in your style.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that is, so when you do the personal stylist, like shopping with them, they need to live local to where you are. But anyone that doesn't live local, you can do a virtual styling as well.
The virtual styling is a little bit different because like you said, I cannot go shopping with them, but I can set them on the right track. So the virtual styling is for somebody who feels that they can do this, with the right guidance, they can do this. And then they're able to go out on their own and pick stuff out. So I have had success with virtual styling. And in this case, these are the people who are capable. They're capable. They can do it on their own. They just need the guidance. And I'm proud of those clients. I'm so proud of those clients too.
Yeah, and it's amazing because when I went, if anyone goes onto Jennifer's website, and I'll put her links in the show notes, you had a page where it's like before and afters, and we all like a good before and after. And what I really loved is seeing what your clients are wearing before and after. And what came to mind, like they all look different, they're all at different stages of their lives, they all have different styles, and you could see different tastes of clothing. What stuck out to me, and it makes sense, the after images or photos, they all look beautiful before. Their after was incredible, and they all looked so well put together, if that makes sense. I was like, I want to look like that. Like, when you meet someone and it's not about overdressing. It's not about trying to be someone you're not. It just looked, wow, you look really good. And it was the first thing that every image I saw, because you got a few on there, I was like, everyone just looks so crafted and so well put together. But that's what you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I actually have so many more clients that I could have shown befores and afters for. It's just that I don't have good photos. So, thank you so much. That is also, like I said, so in my questionnaire, I ask about people's goals, and that is one of the things that comes up the most. The most often, I want to look put together.
Wow.
And so it's not even that hard. It's just paying attention to detail and making sure that you have the right items in your closet. So it's not even that hard. And I teach my clients these basic style guidelines for looking put together. And like, it's really not that hard. I tell them things like, make sure you have the right accessories, just accessories in the right color. You're going to need talking about most people here, you will need black and you will need accessories in neutral colors. And that will pretty much have you set for most of your outfits, because how often, and this happens to a lot of people, how often do you put together an outfit and you think you look amazing? And I bet you do. But then you go to put on shoes and a bag and whatever outerwear you're wearing, and suddenly it's like you've ruined the outfit because you don't have, maybe you're wearing like navy blue and a beautiful tan color, and like all you have are black accessories, and somehow it's just the teeniest bit jarring. Like, you'd look better if you had accessories in neutrals and tan and whatever brown. And then it's like these tiny little details it's these tiny little details that I pay attention to, that I teach my clients to pay attention to. And yeah, they don't need to look super glam. They don't need to look like they're headed to the Met Gala. They just need to look like, they're put together. They put some thought into it, and they look like they know what they're doing. And this is something too, that when you look like, when you look like you're put together, it's just something that screams out, I'm in charge of my life. It's so much more than what you actually look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was just, yeah, I just wanted to say that because I could really see the work you've done with your clients, and a lot of us can lose it for many reasons. It can be financial reasons too. And I think now, you work with clients from all sorts of backgrounds, and with the finances, with clothing the way it is, all the shortcuts, hey, try this shop or try this online store, as we spoke about cashmere as well, looking into like getting cashmere nice pieces, and then there was like a website that you can go to, so all the tricks. So not only do you give us style and personally style us, you also give us hints and tricks, and maybe try this store. Have you tried this place?
Yeah. When I find something good, I love to share it. And so there's something, I love quality. I really love beautiful quality and the craftsmanship that goes into an item. And there are all these little details when you're looking at a high-end piece. You look at the material, you look at the fabrication, you look at the finishing details, even the threads. You might think, well, threads, like it's all the same. It's not all the same. There's higher quality thread that will withstand the test of time and wear. And so I really love beautiful quality, and I really also love not paying a lot for it. So, yeah. So I try to, so one of my favorite things is just finding outlets outlets where you can buy really beautiful pieces, high-end pieces, and then just pay less than you would because it's from, a year ago or 2 years ago. And so, I'm not much of I don't follow the trends so much. I'm very classic. My style is very classic. And for me, a trend needs to be, unless I've already loved it and suddenly it comes into style. I love bustiers, like on top of a shirt. I love a good bustier. And so I have bustiers that I've had for like probably 20 years. And then all of a sudden it comes into style and I'm like, all right, I'll jump on this trend. Cause like I already have it. But I'm more about pieces that you can wear long term. And so it's really okay for me to go buy a piece that is, from a year or two ago, from 5 years ago. I personally prefer clothes that have not been worn. It's a personal preference. I don't mind if they're old, but I I will buy vintage pieces that have been worn if I love them enough. So yeah, come to me if you want to know where to go.
Yeah, because there's also fast fashion. So I'm sure you would have noticed the change that has had on clothing and different websites that you can pick up fast fashion pieces for like $5 or $8. And but it comes in as quick as it goes. That's the thing with that.
Oh,
And it doesn't last. You can wash it once or twice. But it's hit and miss too. Like I bought a couple of really cheap jumpers back in the day, and I'm talking they were like $18 or something, and they're still going today and they still look great. So, you hit
wow.
the jackpot, which is good, but the majority of them don't wash well or wear well, or they're kind of that one time or two time wear. But I think a lot of people do get into that trap of, because we're all financially conscious with everything at the moment, which makes sense. But I do find that fast fashion is people buy it and then it won't last. It will last one or two goes and then that's it.
Yeah. I think that as a general rule, you should really be buying the highest quality that you can afford and just fewer items. And you will find that you love those pieces. And as far as fast fashion, I do have pieces that I have loved from Zara. I have a love-hate relationship with Zara. I love their designs, not all of them, but some of them. I love their designs. And then it's just that I don't like the execution, the fabrics that they use. And so every so often I am tempted to buy a piece from Zara. And sometimes it is a great success. And it is a piece that I have for years and years and years. And sometimes it's something that when I wear it, it just because of the fabric, because they choose designs that are classic, but then the fabric will crease very, very quickly or make it look cheap. And so I would just rather maybe buy less pieces and just buy the higher quality. That's for me. And we're all different. We're all different. I do think that as we get older, this is an appreciation that we gain, an appreciation for quality.
Mm. And I think with Zara too that you mentioned, I've seen a lot of girls that are a bit around my size too, or a bit smaller, that just the clothing sizes are way out. Like sometimes they'll put a pair of jeans on or a top and it will be great. Another time they'll put it up and they just can't pull it up past their knees. So I do know their sizing is a little bit out of whack. But I do remember growing up, someone, I don't know who it would have been, said to me, you always invest in obviously being brought up in New Zealand, it gets cold. So you invest in a good pair of winter boots that last you years, and a good winter coat and a good cashmere scarf. Like it's kind of the basics of the season, and
Right.
investing in those products that will last time and time again. Do you believe in that? Is like dressing to the season and having your wardrobe seasonal depending on where you live?
So I really believe in, like I said, buying the best quality you can afford, but also investing more in those pieces that you are going to wear a lot. So I don't think you necessarily need, I don't think anybody necessarily needs like that cutest little bag that is a designer bag that is for going out, and you'll wear it, just you don't go out all that often if we're talking about the average person. And so is that practical? No, it's not practical. But if you want to get something super high quality and kind of a luxury brand, it's well designed, the materials are good, and this is like a high-end pair of jeans or coat or sweater or shirt or something that you're going to wear a lot, then go for it. Invest in those pieces. I really like what you said, that attitude of getting a high quality pair of boots and a coat and a cashmere scarf, investing in those items that you're going to wear often.
Mm.
And I think that that's absolutely worthwhile. And it also, there's this concept of cost per wear. So the more you wear it, the cost per wear goes down.
I think
And
that's
so
I think that's called girl math. Like, you know how people say, I spend whatever on this, and you divide it into how many times you wear it, and you're like, basically it's a $4 jacket.
so there's some validity to that kind of girl math, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we talk accessories, are we talking, if someone's got their ears pierced, earrings, necklace, bracelet, belt, shoes, bag, hat? Did I say
Mhm.
scarf? Have I missed anything? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, you missed gloves, but you said scarf. And hat, I think you said, and outerwear, I'd also sort of consider to be accessories.
Oh,
Ish.
sunglasses?
Sunglasses for sure. So all of those things that are not actually clothes that you put on to clothe your body, those are all accessories. Yeah.
Yeah,
In my
back in
in
the
my opinion.
day. Yeah, back in the day, I think accessories would be, um, earrings, necklace,
Yeah.
bracelet. I remember being young and would always have different earrings every day for work, a different necklace and a matching bracelet and a like. I used to be really big into accessorizing. And you look back to the 19, I don't know, gosh, I'm going to get it wrong now. 50s, 40s, like the era where women would wear those beautiful dresses and they'd always have earrings and a neck, like they'd always accessorize, like, that real feminine quality. And I love that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the men in the suits,
Yes.
like, oh, it's good back then.
Yeah, and people used to dress up. I saw something the other day on social media about how people would dress up to fly. And yes,
Right.
they were smoking on the plane, which still I find so bizarre. Like the teachers used to smoke at the desk. In the airplanes, people used to smoke on an airplane, which I think, wow, how did one not blow up? But anyway, so that they would smoke on the aircraft, but people would dress up to fly.
Yeah.
And they had beautiful three-piece suits and hats and gloves and handbags and would just really took pride. It's not about showing off. It's not about I'm better than you. It's taking pride. And I think the work I do with people, really people, no matter what age, what stage, what financial situation, how you feel about your body, I know anyone listening to this right now, when you've bought that outfit or you find a pair of jeans that finally fit well, or you wear
Mhm.
your new shoes, like your new, I don't know, Nike shoes or anything like that, you feel so good.
Right. You do. You feel so good about yourself. You know you look good and you have that confidence that just like, you look good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's so
Yeah. And I do have to say though, they had fewer clothes. They had smaller wardrobes back in those days. So they did invest a lot more in how they looked, but they were wearing those clothes a lot more often. Um,
I think people
yeah,
made their clothes too. I think a lot of people
absolutely.
would make their own, or their mothers would sew for them and all that. So it's a different time, but yeah, it's interesting that we're talking about that. So I think also what I'd love to talk about is what you're doing as a personal stylist now, what you're creating, about to create and about to launch. If you're
Yeah.
happy to, would you like to share with my listeners what's coming up for you?
Yeah, I'm really excited to share about this. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I am going to be launching a style membership, a monthly style membership. And so, this will be me teaching various master classes and having a community of women who are all working to elevate their style and in a supportive environment, because that is what I want to have. And that is what I will make sure we have supportive, positive, empowering environments. And um, I will be having style challenges for you to sort of step a little bit outside of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. And I want to bring on some guest experts in related fields because we are so much more than just our style and our clothes. We are holistic beings, and there are so many different aspects to our well-being. So I also want to bring in a little bit of that. And And I'm very practical too. So it will be people that I really resonate with. And so this is going to be something that I'm launching. The goal is 1st of August, and it will be for women who want to elevate their style elevate their style. And what else? So if you've thought to yourself, I would love to work with a personal stylist, but money's a bit tight right now, and you can join this style subscription. It will be the goal is for it to be more affordable than working with a personal stylist, because to work with me, it's a few $100s and maybe like up to 1,000 or a little bit more, depending on whatever service you choose. So the monthly will be much more affordable. You get access to me, and so you can ask me questions inside of the group that I'm going to have, that I will be setting up on Facebook, and we'll do some Q&As too. So if you're dealing with a particular issue, like my closet, I can't deal with it, and so we will tackle different closets at different times, and it should be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Right. Well, I'll put that in the show notes, but also closer to the time, I'll tag you, like anything that you post, I'll share with my audience too.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And one question I was just thinking of, I'm sure someone listening to this about personal style and wanting to elevate their look or try something new. Is there such a thing as having separate clothes for home, work, going out, gym or working out, and just being comfortable at home? Like, do you find that as a personal stylist, you help clients in those particular niches, or it's just like, here's a wardrobe and you wear this anytime? Like, is there such a thing as putting those in different sections?
So it's such an individual thing. It is such an individual thing. I personally have kind of my comfy, cozy, cute loungewear. And this is like for inside. I have my outfits for going for a walk, where I still look cute and put together, but it's very casual. And then I have everything else, which is pretty much really kind of a high end, like elevated for everything. So if I'm going out, if I'm going to work, if I'm going to work with a client, if I'm going to meet friends, if I'm going to a wedding, they're pretty much all the same clothes, because that's just me. That's how I'm comfortable. And I've had people, say, "Oh, are you going somewhere later?" No, I just dressed up for you, because that's me and that's what I love. And so why not?
Nice.
But I have had clients who are very no. This is for going out with friends. This is for date night. This is for work. And so it's such an individual thing. And then I will just try and I will help them get clothes for those different areas of their lives, because that's what's important to them. It's every single one of us. We are so different, and you have to go with yourself, work with what you got, who you are.
I'm curious to know that once people, it's similar to, again, we work in different fields, but when people find out what I do, there's a particular thing that people say to me, "Oh, I've got this, how can you help me?" Or, "How do you cope with listening to people talking all day?" Or, there's a kind of, so when you say you're a personal stylist, I'm kind of taking a guess here that people are like, "Oh, don't look at what I'm wearing today." Or when you meet someone, they go, "Oh, I'm sorry about how I look today." Am I kind of bang on with how people relate to you once they find out what you do?
That happens so often, and it makes me feel so bad, because I'm like, no, you shouldn't feel that way. And yeah, I'm not looking, you know what? I'm never looking at anybody with critical eyes unless they ask me to,
Yeah.
unless they're a client, they're like, how can I improve this outfit? Other than that, with strangers, with friends, I'm never looking at anybody with critical eyes. I'm just also, I'm looking around for beauty. My eye is always, I'm always looking around for beauty. So, so that's something I often compliment people, because, I can't help myself. If I see something like I think that there's something about them that's so beautiful about their outfit. I can't help myself. So I compliment them. And but yeah, that happens so often. It's like, oh, I'm just another human being who likes to look put together.
Yeah, but also you're off the clock. So imagine if you were turned on all the time, as in like looking around, you'd be exhausted. It'd be like me if I was reading people's body language all the time and trying to, yeah. So but that's what people, you got to turn it off, and you just turn it on for when you work. But I thought
Right.
that might be the case, and people either meet you or they find out what you do. Oh my God, excuse me, look how scruffy I look, or look how I look. And you're like, actually, I wasn't, now I'm looking. You probably were like, I didn't even notice, but now I've got my work mode on, and now you brought my attention to it. So I'm looking at you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
When I'm not in the mode, I'm really not thinking about it. I'm just like, I'm just, thinking about, what beautiful thing do I see around me to admire, to drink in with my eyes.
Yeah, and I love what you said earlier on. I just want to bring that into the conversation of how you said you get your clients almost to have like a vision board and for something not to hold them back. So if they like a sparkly dress or a ball gown, or they like someone in the media like J Lo, or someone that I've just recently seen, and she's bringing out a documentary tomorrow, is Celine Dion. And I saw her on TV the other night wearing a nice pantsuit, and then she was wearing something else. And just our conversation right now, my mind has just gone to her on how well put together, like just how beautifully dressed she is.
She has incredible style. Yeah. So, I'll tell you about a client of mine and I want to say that she's one of my favorite clients, but then I have so many favorite clients. I really end up just falling in love with my clients. So, this client, when we were on our discovery call, she broke down in tears with me. And she said, she told me about how she just doesn't know what goes with what. And when she's invited to events, she would just break down in tears in front of her closet, try everything on, and decide she wasn't going. And so this so closely resonated with me because I had the same story. For me, it was because of my weight, because I was bigger and I didn't feel good in anything. And for her, it was just because she had this indecision, insecurity. She didn't know what looked good with what. And it was a matter of coming in and affirming her that you can do this. Here are my basic style guidelines for what looks good together. We photographed outfits, and we photographed outfits so she had them in her phone so she could refer to them. And when she was getting dressed, she would just follow these pictures that we already had. And so this particular client really loved all these glitzy things. So her Pinterest board was filled with ball gowns and beaded things and sequins and glitz and glamour. And at one point while she was putting together her Pinterest board, she said, am I doing this right? I'm like, Jennifer, are you sure? I have all these ball gowns. And I'm like, yeah. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. We're good. We're just going to see what we can pull from that. And so when we were looking for clothes, I remember we got her this beautiful satin kimono with this vibrant pattern, and she loved it. And so, okay, this you wear with jeans and a white tank, or like we also bought other colors that were pulled from the colors of the kimono. Okay, this very basic outfit, and then that's it. You've got this powerful piece, and it's satin because you love all this, shine and glitz and glamour. And you've got it. And so in the future, she also knows she can look for t-shirts that are classy and elevated, but like with some subtle beaded stuff or sequins or whatever. So, it's yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, because I think a lot of people can resonate, especially I can too. What goes with what? I have a fair idea. I have a really good creative eye, but in different areas. So like I know,
Mm.
but then I also know it looks good. Like I'm someone that can shop or go into a shop. I very rarely shop in store now, But I did a couple of months ago, and I walk the perimeter of the shop first. There's only 3 or 4 shops that I shop at. I don't shop at anything else because I know their style, their quality, it fits me. I don't muck around, and I walk around first. Well, obviously, I've looked online first. So I look online first and find the pieces I like. Then I go in store and I walk around, and then I go, yep, no, yep. But then if you have a really good shop assistant, and this particular
Mm.
shop has a very good shop assistant, they always go, do you need help? And because I know this, I've known her quite a while now. I'm like, yeah, yeah, what have you got? I'm going to this and I need this. And they always, this lady, I'll just give everyone an example. I was going to a wedding. It was a 50th wedding anniversary celebration in a church. And I couldn't remember the last time I'd been in a church, and it was getting quite cold. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna wear. And so this lady, I got some cool ankle boots. I got a really nice satin silk skirt with a satin silk like green, which I'd never normally would wear, like an emerald green shirt all together.
Gorgeous for you with your eyes.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
And that's what everyone was saying. And I put it in and I did the whole half tuck thing. And the two ladies were like, yeah, it looks good. And I was like, how does that skirt look? I'm not a skirt person. And how does it make me look like? It's just amazing how clothes can transform your body no matter what size you are, no matter what shape you are. And that's what I mean is I went in there and I just wanted pants because I'm just such a pants person. So pants, and what else? Like I know what my style is, and I'm very easy. She can hold something up. I'm like, nope, nope. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, no, this is really good. Trust me. And yes, there were a couple of tops she gave me, and I was like, nah, I don't like that, or I don't like that. But I gave it a go. And that's the other thing too is challenge yourself. Try going into a shop and finding that's I really think that's the difference between a shop assistant that's very good at what they do and someone that comes to you, oh, do you need help? No, thanks. And they don't help you. Yeah.
Shop assistant like that is an absolute gem. An absolute gem. It's like if you don't have a stylist, you need to go to the shops where you find people like that.
Mm. And on the odd
Absolutely.
occasion you do, over the years, I've been to a couple of, I mean, I'm talking years ago, probably even in New Zealand, but I would find if I went to a shop that sold, it's like a streetwear shop that sold a lot of funky t-shirts and jeans and sneakers, but it was the place to go for my body type for jeans. And I'd walk in and any shop assistant, they must have been trained in a certain way. And I'd be like, I want this jean, this color, this style. And they'll look at me and go, right, you're a size blah blah, cool, hop in there, and then you just go into the clothing room and you feel like a movie star, and they give you so many options and you try it on. That's their job. And so now over the years, because I used to be very into my fashion and style back in the day, and I did have a knack, and I think I brought that knack with me, is going into a store, knowing the store is quality made clothes, but also knowing the assistant, like, hey, can you help me here? Sometimes it's not a test. Sometimes go, hey, what's new? Show me something. And then you know someone that's like, hey, this will look really good on you. And sometimes it's hit and miss, but you just try it on. And they're the ones that you should be able to peek open those curtains and go, excuse me, I like this, but it's too tight across the bust. The sleeves are too long. I want to top that. And they go, hang on, I've got something for you. And then they go in the shop and they come back and they give it to you. That is what you're looking for when you're going shopping, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your whole process of you really shop like you prepare yourself. Good for you. Before you go
Yeah.
shopping. And you find those people, and it's really wonderful when you know the brands that work for you, and when the quality is consistent and when the look is consistent, because some of these brands are, they change it up with every season. You never know what you're going to come back to.
Yeah.
And when you've got somebody who's been working there for a long time, who knows people and who also gets to know you because you're coming there periodically. And so, hey, hi, Barbara.
Yeah.
Good to see you
I
again.
wish
This
it
is
was
what we
more. But I always make a point of saying thank you so much. And you can tell you make their day. Like I'm just like, thank you. You've really helped me. I've bought something that I would never normally wear. So yeah, so there you go. How exciting. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing everything, a little taste of what having a personal stylist. Oh, I wish I could have you in my life every day. I reckon I'm destined for such a great life. I could just ring you and go, Jennifer, what am I wearing today?
That would be fun. That would be fun. Join the membership and then like in the group, ask me.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really great idea. So if anyone's listening to this, they want to message you, they want to join the Style Society, like what's the best way for someone listening to this right now to get in contact with you? Where can they find you?
So there's my website, prettythingstyling.com. And also if people prefer Instagram or Facebook, also fabulous places for me to get in touch with me and to see a little bit about what I talk about. And I'm pretty practical. I'm pretty practical.
Yeah.
I think that style should be something that we can do without too much fuss. But we do have to put effort into it. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just got this beautiful view. You're just so elegant and classy and sophisticated and so beautiful. And here I am sitting in my trackies, but that's fine because it's late at night and that's just what I do. So
It's also very beautiful.
oh, you're so kind. But even I'm just want to paint the picture for everyone that can't see you right now. It looks like that you're an interior designer as well. You have the most fabulous, and I say fabulous for a reason, drapes, curtains, lighting, like everything, and that's why your style has flowed into your home. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. It feels good to be in a place that is restful, And so it's not just your clothes, it's also your environment. It makes such a difference. Feels good. Like this place is my refuge, and you're out in the hustle bustle of the city and everything, and then you come home and it's like you've got this peaceful place. So that's really important to me. And thank you for saying so.
Yeah, it's stunning. I just wanted to let people paint the full picture for people to get to know you. But thank you so much for spending some time with me today and with my listeners. We haven't been across your side of the world before. This is it. I'm so grateful that you came on my podcast, that we've connected, and like I said, I'd love you to be part of the personal styling whenever I run courses or whenever I do anything, because of how we feel is really closely linked to what we're wearing. So I'd love to bring you on at some stage. People will get to know Jennifer and what she does and personal styling more on this side of the world. So it has just been wonderful chatting with you today. And thank you for sharing why you're a personal stylist and a bit about your business. And it's been a great chat.
For me too. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope this conversation has added value to your self-care journey and inspired positive changes in your life. If you enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with a friend who might benefit from this episode. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or on your favourite podcast platform to stay up to date on future episodes. Your support means the world to me. I genuinely love hearing from you, so please take a moment to leave a review. Let me know which part of today's episode resonated with you the most. Your feedback guides the direction of this podcast, and I really appreciate each and every single one of you for being a part of this community. To fall in love with yourself is the first secret to happiness. To find out a bit more about the Studio Chat podcast, head over to my Instagram page, Studio Chat Podcast, or if you want to find out a bit more about my counselling private practice, head over to Instagram on self_care_studio. Or head over to my website, selfcarebybarbarathompson.com.au. I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep embracing the journey of self-discovery.